Okay, so good morning. In fact, I wanted to share with you some thoughts more on shadow banking because we have discussed this morning in the first panel a lot banking union. We will be discussing banking union and other types of regulation in our discussion. So I thought it was a good idea to speak to you about our views of shadow banking. In fact, the first thing is I would like to say shadow banking is a kind of love and hate relationship for banks. Because in the end, if there is heavy regulation for what is in the shadow, then it means that banks will have more business. And working for an association of banks for nearly 10 years, I can consider from the outset that may be a good idea. However, we have to get a little bit in helicopter view or take a macro view and remember why we are discussing shadow banking. In fact, we are discussing shadow banking because we have to realize, and everyone knows it, that we are at the end of a huge credit cycle that started in the 80s, where banks offered credit relatively easily to their clients, and at some stage they had to find alternatives because there was introduced the Basel requirement, number one, then some years later Basel II, and now Basel III. And banks used alternative ways to somehow to finance or to continue the possible extension of credit to investors. I have to say that shadow banking is also something relatively strange and an odd animal, because when you read the different documents, be there from the FSB, from whoever, in fact, everyone seems to have more or less its own definition. And I have to say that at this stage, my own personal definition, well, I don't have one. I understand that there are different things that maybe need to be regulated, but frankly speaking, the term shadow sometimes is a little bit, misleading, if I may say, for the banking activity, at least. So, in fact, in the typologies of shadow banking activities, from the FSB report and from the consultation from the Commission and from a report from the own initiative report from the Parliament, we can more or less classify them into two big sectors. One is for institutions, money market funds. Some funds, I even learned during the process of shadow banking and the reviewing and researching on it, that private equity funds may do some shadow banking, which was more or less a surprise to me. Then there is also some activities. There are understand a little bit more what is shadow banking when we talk about repo or securities lending. Perhaps some OTC trades may also be considered as shadow banking. But what strikes me today is that, of course, all those activities are not per se bank or prudentially regulated. But if we take the EU case, and as an association from Luxembourg, I concentrate on EU regulation and Luxembourgish regulation, by the way. They are all regulated at EU level. We have more or less for all types of activities, either directly or indirectly regulation. If we take the case of securitization, banks are regulated. The assets or the credits that they have on their balance sheet and off balance sheet are regulated. So my understanding, well, why do we need an additional regulation for these activities where a lot of those actors or participants in the market of shadow banking, be they funds or whatever, are already regulated? And in fact, this is also translated into a kind of time frame. Since the crisis, we had a lot of regulatory initiative. They started with the credit rating agency review because they were blamed in the first place for their, mismanagement, if I may say, a kind of caricatural summary. And then this follows regulation on IFM for hedge funds and private equity, then review of MiFID, etc. And since then, we had a host of regulation, and shadow banking is somehow coming at the very end, like if you have a big box with stone and you fill it with the sand and it's going into the holes, the different holes, finishing the business. The problem is that now we have a lot of we have already a lot of regulation, and I really wonder what this shadow banking regulation may continue to regulate or may impose. On the banking, on the financial markets. You know, this is just a summary of where it's coming from. So the question that I have as a representative from a banking association is more or less, well, shadow banking, we may have some additional regulation, and we have some regulators, so by nature their role is to produce regulation, just as mine is to try to fight against regulation. The question is, will this regulation be a complete overhaul of what we have already done? And we know that banking union is not even started, or CRD4 is not, well, even approved in the parliament. Would this shadow banking completely review the whole process of of banking regulation for non-banking activities? So the question is for my point of view, is there what we would like to avoid? And we hope with the different discussions that we had with regulators, with other parties, that it seems to be now oriented toward more a fine-tuning of some regulations that we already have to accommodate some of the aspects that are not taken into account by banking regulation, which would be a great relief for us and probably for regulators as well, because they would have to produce a little less regulation. So what is needed probably is a little bit more transparency, so that regulators and supervisors have a very good knowledge and understanding of market activity. And that would be also useful at the industry level, I think. What would be regulated, in our views, for sure, money market funds, we would have a regulation. And in fact, it's a conjunction of two stars. If I were doing some astrology, I would say conjunction of two planets or two stars. One is the review of UCITS 6, and shadow banking. Money market funds may have, at some point in time, as we have seen in the US, some asset and liability management problems. The point that I would like to make with two regulators here is that EU market funds are not necessarily the ones that we have in the US and do not necessarily serve the same purposes. They are not like banking accounts that are just like as they are used in the US. So the question is, will a new regulation limit the impact at retail client level? Is there a potential impact at retail client level of money market funds falling in Europe? For the moment, for me, the question is still open, I would say. The problem is, well, more recently coming from another area, which is repo market, securities lending, securitization, and rehypothecation. In fact, the question is not, shall we regulate or not, and what types of regulation shall we have? The question is first for me to be taken from a high-level perspective. We know that we would have some regulations like EMIR that will require banks to, banks or market participants to have a huge amount of collateral at their disposal. We know that banks with CRD4, with other regulation, will also need to have a lot of collateral at their disposal. The problem is that repo, securities lending, etc., are tools that help create or maintain a relatively important level of collateral. So shall we go for regulation in that area before the regulation on EMIR, CRD4, etc. are applicable and enforced? And we have some experience from the market, and we know if we are in excess or in loss of good quality collateral. Oops. So in terms of conclusion, I understand that today the priority is clearly on banking union and finalizing CRD4, which from our point of view at the association is clearly a need and an absolute need. The question is, shall we rush regulation on banking union? Probably, as we always said in the lobby industry, at least from our side, we prefer to wait and have good quality regulation than rushing and having to change in 6 months' time. We understand also that in shadow banking there may be some need for realignment of mismatch of asset and liabilities, probably for some money market funds where some ideas from the CRD may be used. The big question for me missing is what is the role of insurance and reinsurance, because they were mentioned in the consultation from the Commission, but dropped out of every other types of consultation or comments that I have seen from authorities. The term shadow banking, please, regulators, please use another term, because it's so bad. It's very unhelping for the industry. why not use market-based finance or something like that? Shadow banking, I always feel like the bad guy in movies. Well, representing banking association, I am, but in a way. And then the question is, regulation, okay, maybe it is needed, but maybe shadow banking is also the oil needed to have market works in a smooth way. So the question I have as a final one is regulation on shadow banking just adding new regulation, or will it make the world a better place? And for the moment, I think this question is also open. Thank you.